A sharp, pained screech echoed through the bustling street. People stopped mid-step, heads turning sharply toward the sound. On the pavement, a sleek gray cat scrambled desperately, trembling, eyes wide in fear and confusion. Standing over it, an outlaw biker laughed cruelly, nudging the cat roughly with his heavy boot. He glanced at his gang, smirking arrogantly, savoring the crowd's silence. They owned this street, confident no one would dare challenge them. Around them, pedestrians froze, hesitated, glanced away, pretending not to see the animal's distress. The biker's smirk widened, daring anyone to speak up, certain no one would. But someone had already seen everything. At a sidewalk cafe table just a few feet away, Jason Statham sat silently, his coffee forgotten, gaze ice-cold. He'd been quietly observing, unnoticed amid the crowd, until the biker crossed the line. The biker laughed again, raising his boot once more. The cat cowered helplessly, anticipating another blow. Jason set his cup down gently, a deliberate movement charged with quiet menace. Rising slowly from his chair, he calmly adjusted his jacket. The bikers hadn't noticed him yet, but as Jason took a single step forward, the leader's laughter faltered. He had no idea what was coming. Before continue, like and subscribe to catch Jason Statham's epic face-off with outlaw bikers, and comment where you're watching from today. The morning sunlight poured gently onto the bustling city street, casting a warm glow over cafe tables and busy sidewalks. Jason Statham sat quietly at an outdoor table, savoring his coffee while keeping an eye on his gray cat nearby. The feline, a friendly stray he had adopted, sat peacefully a few feet away, lazily basking in the sun and occasionally drawing smiles from passing pedestrians. It was a rare moment of calm in Jason's chaotic life, offering a glimpse of his softer side, a man at ease, appreciating the simple joys of companionship. This tranquility, however, didn't last. The sudden roar of motorcycle engines shattered the calm atmosphere, drowning out chatter and laughter. A notorious gang of outlaw bikers rolled in arrogantly, their presence instantly darkening the mood of the street. People stopped in their tracks, parents pulled their children closer, and conversations fell silent as tension took hold. These bikers thrived on intimidation. Tattooed, leather-clad, and loud, they relished in making others uncomfortable, enjoying the fear they inspired. The leader strutted ahead, openly mocking bystanders, laughing as they scattered from his path. They weren't just passing through, they were seeking trouble, eager to provoke. From his seat, Jason quietly assessed their behavior, taking mental notes. The leader's arrogance was clearly his weakness, his followers quick to follow commands but lacking independent courage. Jason's expression remained neutral, carefully masking his growing irritation. Suddenly, the gray cat innocently wandered closer, catching the biker's attention. Without hesitation, the gang leader cruelly kicked the animal aside, laughing as it yowled in pain and scrambled away. The bystanders flinched but said nothing, avoiding eye contact. Jason's composure shifted in an instant. His jaw tightened sharply, and a dangerous intensity flickered in his eyes. He set his coffee down, his movements slow and deliberate, each subtle action radiating controlled fury. He had quietly observed, patiently restrained, but the bikers had crossed an unforgivable line. As the cat limped away, Jason stood up slowly, purposefully. The relaxed man from moments ago had vanished, replaced by a figure radiating quiet menace. The bikers continued laughing, completely unaware of the deadly storm heading their way. Jason moves forward, his steps deliberate and calm, his gaze icy but controlled. The street falls quieter, tension creeping into the air. He stops directly in front of the biker who kicked his cat, his voice steady but edged with unmistakable authority. "You've made a mistake. Fix it now." The biker, a towering figure covered in tattoos, smirks arrogantly, sizing Jason up. He sees only an ordinary man. Calm, quiet, no visible threat. To him, Jason is just another civilian, too polite and proper to pose any real danger. Or what, tough guy? Gonna make me? His friends laugh, circling around, amused by the confrontation. Passers-by watch nervously, sensing danger but powerless to intervene. Jason remains absolutely composed, his stance relaxed yet perfectly balanced, eyes locked on his target without wavering. The leader of the biker gang pushes closer, clearly enjoying the chance to intimidate someone he assumes can't fight back. He sneers openly, leaning close. "Maybe we should kick you around like your little friend, huh?" Jason doesn't flinch. His response is quiet, chilling in its intensity. "Last chance. Apologize and leave." More laughter erupts. The bikers exchange smirks, shaking their heads at Jason's apparent foolishness. One steps forward, clearly deciding Jason needs a lesson. His fist swings recklessly, expecting an easy hit. Jason reacts instantly, sidestepping smoothly, letting the punch miss by mere inches. With frightening speed, he catches the biker's extended arm, twisting it sharply, bone cracking audibly. The attacker collapses to his knees, screaming. The laughter abruptly ends, replaced by sudden silence. The bikers exchange quick, anxious glances, confusion turning into alarm. Their confidence begins to shatter as they reassess the man in front of them. Two others charge forward instinctively, desperate to regain control of the situation. Jason moves with brutal efficiency. He ducks one swing and delivers a powerful strike to the ribs, causing the attacker to buckle over, gasping for air. The second attacker swings wide. Jason counters immediately, effortlessly blocking the blow and returning with a precise elbow strike that sends the biker sprawling onto the pavement, dazed and disoriented. The remaining gang members freeze, eyes wide with shock. In less than 20 seconds, their arrogant swagger vanishes entirely, replaced by the sudden realization of the brutal mistake they've made. Jason stands calmly amid their fallen friends, his breathing steady, his presence commanding. His eyes lock once again onto the gang leader, whose smirk has completely faded. "You ready to apologize yet?" Jason asks quietly, his voice carrying a cold threat. The leader swallows hard, backing away slowly as panic sets in. They had mocked and underestimated the wrong man, and now they were paying the price. Realizing they're rapidly losing control, the remaining bikers exchange nervous glances, fear replacing their initial arrogance. Desperation forces them forward in a final, chaotic rush. Two bikers attack simultaneously, hoping sheer numbers will overwhelm Jason. One swings a metal chain high, while the other lunges low with a punch. Jason anticipates every move. He effortlessly sidesteps the punch, grabbing that attacker's wrist and twisting sharply downward, forcing the man face first into the ground with a sickening thud. In the same instant, he intercepts the chain mid-air, yanking hard to pull the second attacker off balance, sending him tumbling helplessly into a nearby parked car. Gasps ripple through the growing crowd as bystanders become increasingly aware they're witnessing something extraordinary. Jason moves with flawless precision and calm brutality, never wasting an ounce of energy. Each strike is powerful yet controlled, an overwhelming demonstration of dominance. Whispers rise sharply from the edges of the circle of onlookers. "Wait, isn't that Jason Statham?" The murmurs spread quickly, building an electric tension in the air. Realizing he's not dealing with an ordinary civilian, the gang leader's eyes widen, panic visibly taking hold. Shaken, he tries rallying his remaining men, screaming desperately, "Get him! He's just one guy." But the remaining bikers hesitate, terrified by Jason's ruthless efficiency. One more biker finally charges forward, driven by pride more than bravery. He swings a heavy tire iron in desperation. Jason calmly ducks beneath the reckless blow, delivering a powerful kick directly into the biker's midsection, sending him sprawling backward, groaning and defeated. Now alone and isolated, the biker leader fumbles clumsily into his jacket pocket, his breathing ragged, eyes wild with panic. Jason watches calmly, a chilling smile slowly forming as the leader produces a switchblade, flicking the blade open with a trembling hand. "Stay back!" he snarls, but his voice shakes, betraying his true terror. Jason's expression remains unervingly relaxed, almost amused by the desperation unfolding. He tilts his head slightly, eyes locked onto the blade, his voice dangerously quiet. "Think very carefully about your next move." The crowd's breath catches, silence falling instantly. Every eye shifts anxiously between Jason and the biker's shaking hand. The leader glances around wildly, searching for support that no longer exists. Sweat beads down his forehead as he realizes he's made a terrible mistake. Drawing a weapon has only heightened his vulnerability. Jason calmly takes a deliberate step forward, the cold smile never fading, his gaze unwavering. The tension spikes higher, leaving the biker trapped by his own poor judgment, the realization dawning that he's just turned a bad situation into a catastrophic one. Cornered and terrified, the biker leader's eyes flicker frantically between Jason and the murmuring crowd, desperation driving him to one final, reckless move. With a wild shout, he lunges toward Jason, blade raised in shaking hands. The crowd collectively gasps, stepping backward instinctively. Jason remains perfectly still until the last possible moment, then moves with a speed so precise it appears effortless. He sidesteps the blade, gripping the leader's wrist firmly and twisting sharply. The knife clatters loudly onto the pavement as the biker cries out in pain. Before he can react further, Jason delivers a swift, punishing elbow strike, sending the leader sprawling onto the street, utterly defeated. The silence that follows is absolute, broken only by the defeated biker's gasping breaths. The leader tries weakly to push himself up, humiliation and pain clear on his face, but his trembling limbs refuse to obey. Jason gazes down, his voice cool and piercing enough to cut deeper than any blade. "You kicked my cat to show everyone how tough you were. How's that working out for you?" Humiliated and broken, the biker leader turns his head away, face burning with shame. The crowd shifts from stunned silence to scattered applause, relieved laughter, and awed whispers. Every person watching understands the depth of the biker's humiliation, his reputation and power utterly destroyed in seconds. Jason doesn't linger, doesn't boast. Instead, he simply turns, his intense gaze briefly sweeping across the remaining defeated bikers, ensuring none dare rise again. His cold stare alone keeps them pinned in place, eliminating any lingering thoughts of resistance. Finally, Jason steps away from the scene, quietly reclaiming his injured cat and cradling it protectively. The street, once dominated by the biker gang's cruelty, now belongs entirely to Jason, who, without uttering another word, has redefined true power, proving that those who prey upon the defenseless will always face an opponent they never expected. As the tension subsides, Jason gently cradles his injured cat, softly running his hand over its fur to calm the trembling animal. For a brief moment, the fierce protector reveals a rarely seen tenderness, a stark contrast to the brutal efficiency he displayed moments before. Around him, the crowd remains quiet, still absorbing what they've just witnessed. Slowly, a soft, genuine applause breaks out, respectful and appreciative. It's not celebratory noise, it's gratitude expressed sincerely by ordinary people who finally saw justice delivered swiftly and unquestionably. The defeated bikers pick themselves off the ground, nursing their injuries and battered pride. They retreat silently, shoulders slumped, heads down, completely humiliated, knowing they have permanently lost the respect and fear they once commanded. Jason meets the eyes of a grateful elderly woman nearby. Without a word, he gives her a small nod, acknowledging not her praise, but a mutual understanding that protecting the weak is not heroic, just necessary. With nothing left to prove, Jason quietly walks away, his powerful presence fading seamlessly back into the everyday hum of city life. There are no words, no boasts, no dramatic exit. His actions alone speak volumes, leaving the bystanders inspired and forever reminded that true strength protects the innocent without ever seeking applause. This wasn't merely about a man defending his pet, it was about the fundamental principle that cruelty toward the helpless carries inevitable consequences. Whether it's a defenseless animal or a vulnerable person, harming the innocent can only end one way: justice. Jason Statham's response demonstrated real strength isn't showcased through dominance or fear, but in the quiet confidence of standing up for those unable to defend themselves. True power lies not in intimidation, but in protection, strength guided by compassion. Today, the bikers learned a valuable lesson. Their arrogance, their cruelty, and their disregard for innocent life were answered decisively, not by someone seeking applause, but by someone committed to what's right. As Jason disappeared into the bustling city street, the cat safely in his arms, the moment served as a vivid reminder that each of us holds a responsibility, to act when we see injustice, to protect those who can't protect themselves. Real strength isn't found in creating fear, it's shown in standing up for the innocent when nobody else will. Always choose compassion over cruelty, courage over silence. Because sometimes, all it takes is one action to change everything. If you believe in justice, stand up, speak out, and share this message.